Hi and welcome everybody to my latest constructional project. It's an arcade table based loosely on the sort of thing you might have seen in the pubs and clubs in the 1980s. It's a so-called cocktail cabinet style because you sit down with one player on one side and another player on the other side. Anyway, the idea of this video is to really take you through just some of the details and how the project was put together from a constructional point of view. So my apologies for any jiggly camera work or anything like that. I'll try and keep things as fairly steady and as interesting as possible. Anyway, so we'll take a walk around the machine at first. We're looking at the player one console, and we've got a joystick, 3 buttons on the top and then another 4 buttons down below. Obviously there's the single person button here on the right hand side. This is a coin button because it doesn't have any sort of coin mechanism, and the other 2 buttons are for navigating the menus through the RetroPie interface. If I go around to the the second player side, much simpler layout, just with the joystick, 3 buttons and the 2 player button. Okay. Looking, and I apologise for the glare. Let me move around here, you don't see so much glare. What we have is the glass top, which sits on top of the melamine top. The melamine top has got a print which has been applied, and the glass is held in place with 4 clips. Put some side art on one side, and then some slightly different, or quite different art on the other side. Okay, again this is self-adhesive that was applied quite late in the project. Now taking a look inside the machine, I need to get inside the machine. I've just put 3 hold down locations which are quarter turn screws, and once you've done that we can lift up the whole top. Just being fairly careful with that because the glass is very heavy. So on the underside we've got the mounting of the LCD monitor. This monitor is a 17-inch monitor, came from a Dell. So basically I've removed the inside, and the bezel in the back have been thrown in the bin, the recycling bin, and we've just got the normal connections that you would find on the Dell, which is the power in. We've got the HDMI, or rather DVI, which goes to HDMI on the other end on the Raspberry Pi, and then at the moment I'm using some power lead to power the Raspberry Pi because this monitor has some USB leads. This other lead here is actually 12 volt and powers the amplifier. I'll show you that in a minute. I just chopped the bezel up a little bit here so you can actually still adjust the monitor through the menu if you need to do, but yeah, normally you don't need to get to that. Now looking at the Raspberry Pi itself, so the Raspberry Pi mounted on just a little wooden shelf that I've got here. We've got the joystick wiring and button wiring coming in from player number 2 on the left hand side. It's coming in from player number 1 on the right hand side. Other wiring that goes to this, obviously this is the power lead for the Raspberry Pi, and it's actually coming into this top control block PCB. And the control block PCB, if I can just get in fairly close, maybe you can see we've got the Raspberry Pi sitting below and we've got the control block sitting on top. The only other wiring of note on this, you'll notice these 2 grey wires here. One goes to an on-off switch, which I'll show you in a minute, and the second one actually goes up to, just runs around this lead here. It actually goes to a little blue LED, and I drilled a little tiny hole in the top, and you can actually see whether the machine is on, booting up or shutting down from that LED flashes at different sort of rates. So as I said, yes, there is an on-off switch in here. So from the Raspberry Pi we run down and down just to the base of the machine. And what I've done is on the underside, not quite hidden, but what we've got is an on-off switch here. In fact, I'll just click that on and we'll actually watch this boot up a little bit. Not much else to really show you apart from you've got the two speakers in the bottom of the unit here. I used the 12 volt coming from the monitor. This comes along around the wiring, and inside the plastic box there, as you'll see from the steps of the construction, I've got a very small 3-watt amplifier and a little 12 volt to 5 volt DC to DC converter, because the amplifier runs off 5 volts. And yeah, the volume is more than enough for this sort of cabinet. It's not going to it's not a boombox or anything like that. You're only playing some very, very basic sounds, so yeah, that's 3 watts is quite satisfactory. Again, for the audio, there is a stereo pot mounted just to the right hand side of the player 1 console. So I'll just show you the knob on the outside. So you can just, that's just a twirly, minimum, maximum, no problem. Very simple. I think that's about it. The only other thing is you don't see them so well. I'll show you some night shots, but there is actually a line of blue LEDs underneath the machine, and that just gives quite a nice sort of space themed glow. And that's pretty much it. I don't think there are any other details that I need to go through that you won't see in all the steps of the construction. So anyway, I hope you really like the construction itself and the video. I'll do a separate shorter video just showing the games and some of the navigation through the menus, but I'll do that later. Thanks now.